Hello everybody. Today I'm going to read for you Kookoo, Kookaburra, written and illustrated by Gregg, Dreise. I love the sound of a kookaburra. At the end of the story, we're going to make something. You'll need a plate and a collection of things. Now I happen to have a plum, dates, tomatoes, leaves. I think that's all I've got. I'll show you at the end what we're going to make. Kookoo, Kookaburra. It's a beautiful Indigenous story from Australia. Way back before, once upon a time, there was the dream time, and during this period there lived a kookaburra called Kookoo. Kookoo was a kind and happy fellow who loved to tell stories. He would sit in his favourite gum tree and wait for one of the animals to do something silly. When they did, Kookoo would laugh and think of a good story to tell about what they had done. The bush creatures loved to gather for a song or a dance, but they enjoyed listening to Kookoo's stories the most. He had a special way of turning someone's silliness into a funny story without being unkind. Look at that beautiful picture. Sometimes Kookoo searched for food to eat, but most of the time he was just on the lookout for his next big story. One day, Kookoo could not find any of the bush creatures doing something silly, so he decided to make fun of their differences instead. Sadly, the kookaburra's teasing made the hearts of his friends sink lower than the belly of Mr. Nguri, the black snake. Before long, there were many sad creatures. Billy, the red-winged parrot, reminded Kookoo that everyone liked him because he could tell a funny story in a kind way. His elder, Uncle Goo Gaga, told him that kindness is like a boomerang. If you throw it often, it comes back often. That sort of means if you're kind to someone, then you will get kindness in return. But Kookoo did not listen. He thought his stories were just as funny when he teased his friends. That's not a good idea. In his quest for laughter, Kookoo hurt the feelings of the bush animals, and they stopped listening to him. The creatures who had once gathered like twinkling stars now looked as if the clouds had dragged their sorrows over the sky. Kookoo's stories were no longer funny, but he still believed that he was the best storyteller in the bush. Look at those beautiful colours. Such a lovely illustration. Uncle Googa decided to teach Kookoo the wise words that had been taught to him when he was young. You have 2 eyes. You have 2 ears. You only have 1 mouth. Look and listen twice as much as you speak. When Kookoo flew off without taking the time to think about what he had been taught, Uncle Googa and Billy, they were sad. Kookoo had become a show-off and had forgotten the difference between laughing with people and laughing at people. His friends hoped that one day his kindness would return like a boomerang. Kookoo flew from tree to tree trying to gather an audience, but everyone ignored him and he became very lonely. One day he listened to his own laughter echoing around the bush, and it was not a happy sound. Kookoo stopped laughing, and then he heard the voice of Googa. His uncle's wise words were floating on the breeze, and they were much louder than his own unhappy laughter had been. Everywhere Kookoo flew, he could now hear the voice of Uncle Kookaburra saying, "Kindness is like a boomerang. If you throw it often, it comes back often." At last, Kookoo knew what he had to do. From that day on, his laughter and funny stories once again filled the bush. And because Kookoo was always kind, the other creatures returned the kindness by listening. Kookoo's laughter is still heard today. Kookoo ka 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 ka. Kookoo ka 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 ka. I love that sound. This book has a lovely message about kindness and laughing with your friends, but not at your friends. So one of the things I noticed in this book, which I loved, were these images. And we have the boomerang, and then we have this circular thing. It's a little bit like a mandala. It's a symbol. It could be a traditional symbol, and it could represent something. I'm not sure what this one represents, but I thought we could make a mandala out of things we have around the house or around the garden. So this is where I'm going to use my white plate and all the things that I've collected. So I'll show you what I'm going to do. So here's the white plate, and I'm going to put into the center my plum. And then I'm going to decorate around it. So what I thought I'd do first is I'm going to use my dates. And I'm just going to make a bit of a star shape around it. You might have some shells or some rocks in your garden or at the park near you. Then I went down and I got some leaves off my bay tree, and I picked a few, and I thought I can put those in between and make a bit of a pattern like this. You could find some leaves in the park. They'll probably be on the ground. There'll be lots of leaves. So like that. And then I thought I'm going to use my tomatoes and just put those on the leaves. Oops, that one didn't want to sit on the leaf. I'll turn the leaf over so it creates a bit of a dent. 1, 2, how many leaves, tomatoes will I need? 3, 4, they're roly-poly tomatoes today. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tomatoes. And there is my mandala made from things that I had in my kitchen and around my garden. Maybe you could make a mandala like that as well. Have fun, be good, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.